I thought men were trash. Until I met you. Damn it.
The Prime Minister has warned that coronavirus restrictions in England may need to be tightened over the next few weeks to cut the rising numbers of infections.
My first year as a junior doctor, it was definitely not what I had expected. There was that week when the news just broke out and people weren't really sure if it was real or not. And there was just that phase of everyone making like silly dad jokes, like getting the odd Corona bottle and going, oh, this is it. I, of course, never made that joke. And before we know it, things just started to change drastically. And I think all healthcare professionals will agree with me when I say that our work just became our entire life.
Some breaking news as the UK has recorded its highest ever daily total of COVID-19 cases. Let's take a look at the numbers.
When you first qualify as a doctor, you have a list of skills and areas that you need to train in. One of my consultants at the beginning of the year told me that, listen, you can be as skillful as you like, but the ability to connect with your patients during their most vulnerable time can only come when you understand their narrative. And so you can hear their history or you can listen to their story. And this year was a true test to that, especially when being skillful felt like it wasn't enough.
Dear 2020, you showed us what we take for granted. Celebrations, community, traveling, even if it is to a corner shop, festivals and gigs. You know what? Even the mosh pits. The simplest of things, like hugging, handshaking, facial expressions, clearing your throat in public without being judged, touching parcels, or just touching anything in general. And there are the important things, like saying goodbye and saying hello, and the choice to just escape. Your distance brought us closer. We used to be on our phones when we're together, but now we can't wait to be on the phone to be with each other. You made us realize that gratitude does not need to be scheduled. You took a lot away this year. Loved ones, normality, routine, the ability to make plans, but also the ability to be spontaneous. However, you did give us perspective. Many people struggling with working from home, whilst for others, neither work nor home exist. Many exploiting their privilege of having a choice, whilst others have none. And who knew that being unproductive can sometimes be the most productive thing you can do? We're questioning whether things have changed, or whether it's just old news finally being brought to light. We know that this isn't the first crisis our world has faced, but there were definitely a lot of firsts that did come with this one. For many of us, time had paused, whilst for others, time had unfortunately stopped. And for the rest, time could not run any faster.
The strain on healthcare professionals during each wave have been tough, even tougher now. Most mornings I would go into work and ask my colleagues how they're feeling. And the things I would hear is anxious, scared, knackered, feeling like a zombie, fatigued. And the truth is, it didn't matter how you felt, because no matter what, you just have to lock those feelings in a jar, wash your hands, wear your mask, and off you trot. You've got patients to look after. That threshold for anyone to just mentally keep composure and survive the day slowly diminishes when people outside the hospital aren't doing their part. Being part of the younger generation is really conflicting, because on one side, you've got friends who are working on the front line tirelessly, And then on the other side, you've got your other friends who are questioning the entire pandemic. And there are days where you're just not sure what's more harmful, the virus itself or the misinformation. COVID hasn't switched off other diseases. We still have to remain sharp and awake to be able to treat those who come in for non-COVID reasons, conditions which have a cure and are treatable. If hospitals are overwhelmed and people outside are not being vigilant, then inevitably you're putting everyone at risk, regardless of if they come in with COVID or not. And that's probably the scariest part.
It's fair to say that many are angry with you, and at times that has made the job of mine and my colleagues much tougher. But it's completely understandable. The human race is not designed to live in captivity. We have gained a hatred for very particular things, but also an appreciation for others, as we are accelerating a generational shift in the way we meet new people.
It's so easy to forget that having a choice is a privilege. And so it's not fair to make life harder for those who in certain situations or certain circumstances just might not have it.
All these tears, but we're still leveling up. All these masks, but we're still unveiling the truth. All these restrictions, but we're still breaking barriers.
Sometimes